Soulful Journeys, Love's Second Bloom, a metaphysical love story by Dana M. Brown. Episode 4, The Energy of Connection. In the last episode, Nia took us on a journey of her garden where she discovered its true purpose beyond just a beautiful retreat. The Garden of Healing had become more than just a place to relax. It was her sanctuary, alive with sounds that soothed her weary soul. In the days following her first discovery, the garden began to weave itself into her daily life, inviting her to go deeper within herself. In the embrace of nature's calm, she felt something stir within her, a whisper of renewal, a promise of growth. From somewhere deep within the garden, she could hear the melodic trickling of water, a soft stream winding its way through the stones, creating a calm rhythm that seemed to sync with her breath. Nearby, the leaves rustled with a serene rustling sound, dancing lightly in the wind's playful touch. The air was filled with an occasional flutter of wings as birds chirped a peaceful chorus from above. Their song, a sweet and gentle tune that blended seamlessly with the water's flow. Even in the earth beneath her feet seemed to sing. With each step she took, the soft crunch of leaves and a faint creak of the wooden path added their own music to the garden's symphony. In every sound, Nia found something that nurtured her, whether it was the low hum of insects buzzing around the flowers, the faint crackle of a burning sage stick, or the distant call of a wind chime as it swayed in the breeze, ringing with a delicate, almost ethereal tone. Here, among the gentle chorus of nature, she found a deep sense of stillness. The sounds wrapped around her, coaxing her to let go of the past and embrace the quiet strength that was growing within her. Each day she spent in the garden brought her closer to herself. The vibrant colors of green aventurine nestled among silver accents, catching her eye as she walked through the space. The harmony of sound, scent, and color intertwined, and with each passing moment, the garden became more than just a place. It was where her soul could rest and grow. The garden, with its gentle breeze and soothing energy, had healed wounds she hadn't realized were still raw. Each day she spent there brought her closer to herself, nurturing a quiet strength she thought she had lost. The scent of lavender and sage, the vibrant colors of green aventurine, nestled among the silver accents, the peaceful chirping of birds, and gentle water sounds had made the space her sanctuary, where her soul could rest and grow. But as the garden nurtured her, it also hinted at something more. In the stillness, she sensed it, a presence, an energy that seemed to be preparing her for the next step in her journey. Nia could feel the garden whispering secrets to her heart, soft words of hope and possibility. It was as though the garden itself was guiding her towards something or someone who would help her rediscover parts of herself she had yet to uncover. And on that particular day, when the sunlight hung low and golden in the sky, the garden was ready to reveal its next gift to her. The late afternoon sun hung low in the sky, casting a golden glow over the Garden of Healing. Nia had been journaling in her usual spot under the old oak tree, her thoughts flowing like the gentle breeze that whispered through the garden. The warmth of the sun bathed her skin, and a soft smile played on her lips as she took in the serenity surrounding her. A faint sound, perhaps the rustling of leaves or the delicate knock of wind, caught her attention, causing her to glance towards the back gate. A shadowy figure stood there, silhouetted against the bright light of the sun. Nia blinked, trying to focus, but the glare made it difficult to see. The figure was tall and broad-shouldered, standing just beyond the gate, cloaked in light like a dream from which she hadn't fully woken. Her heart stirred with an inexplicable pull, a sensation as though the garden itself was breathing this figure into her world. Slowly, she rose from her bench, her feet carrying her towards the gate as if on instinct, her curiosity growing with each step. As she opened the gate, the light shifted and the figure became clearer, yet still partially obscured by the sun's glow. For a moment, it was as if time stood still, and she found herself staring into the shimmering light, feeling something both mysterious and familiar about this presence. Then, as the sun dipped lower, the light softened, revealing the man behind the glow. Recognition flickered in Nia's chest. She didn't know him well, but his face was familiar, a presence she had seen at various community events, always at the center of things. His name came to her mind, Kwame. She had heard the whispers about him, the charming businessman with a reputation as a ladies' man. But there was something different in this moment. Something about the way he stood there, almost as if he belonged in her garden, yet brought with him an energy that wasn't meant to disturb, but to blend in harmoniously with the space around him. "Kwame?" she asked, her voice quiet, still partly lost in the dreamlike aura of the encounter. He smiled warmly, his features now fully revealed in the fading sunlight. "Yes, that's me," he replied, his voice deep yet gentle. "I hope I'm not intruding. I've been canvassing the neighborhood, sharing information about a youth mentoring program I'm starting. When I walked by, something about this garden called me. I couldn't help but stop." Nia's breath caught slightly. The way he said it, how the garden had called to him, resonated with something deep inside her. She felt the connection between them, an invisible thread that wasn't about flirtation or charm, but about something quieter, something real. She nodded slowly, a soft smile forming on her lips. "It's a special place," she said, her voice almost a whisper. "It has a way of inviting people in." Kwame looked around the garden, his gaze lingering on the flowers, the trees, and the peaceful energy that radiated from every corner. "I can feel it," he said quietly, as if speaking more to himself than to her. As their eyes met once more, there was a moment of shared understanding between them, a recognition that transcended the surface level of familiarity. Nia felt the gentle stirring of something new, and though she didn't know what it meant yet, she knew that this meeting, like everything in the Garden of Healing, was no accident. The sun still shone brightly behind him as Kwame stepped closer, his silhouette a figure of quiet strength. He extended his right hand, holding a flyer in between his fingers, offering it to her with quiet confidence. Nia stepped closer, reaching for the flyer. As her fingers brushed against the paper, a sudden surge of energy pulsed through her, passing from Kwame to the flyer and into her hand. The sensation was unexpected, warm and electric, like the universe nudging her towards something significant. She blinked, taken aback by the strange connection, and looked up at him, her breath catching in her throat. It was then that she noticed his scent. It was subtle but magnetic, a blend of sandalwood and cedar with a hint of something richer, like dark spices mingling in the air. It was almost as if his scent carried a kind of primal energy, drawing her nearer without her even realizing it. It stirred something deep within her, a warmth that spread through her body, relaxing and enticing at the same time. Her gaze drifted down, catching a gleam of a bracelet around his wrist. The bracelet was captivating, crafted from sleek black tourmaline, lustrous tiger's eye, and polished hematite beads. On one end sat a black lion's head, its eyes gleaming with authority and strength. On the other end was a crown, intricately designed, embellished with sparkling crystals that caught the light with every slight movement. The two charms on each end were separated by shimmering spacers, each stone meticulously chosen for its power and purpose. The bracelet seemed to hum with its own energy, exuding an aura of protection and leadership. It was as if the piece itself had a story to tell, a reflection of Kwame's own spirit, strong, confident, and steadfast. Nia couldn't help but admire the craftsmanship. "That's a stunning bracelet," she remarked, her voice soft with genuine curiosity. Her eyes traced the lion's head, then the crown, appreciating the balance of power and grace. Kwame smiled, his eyes twinkling as he glanced down at the bracelet. "I found this in a store I had never seen before, Soulful Connections. One day I was wandering through town, and there it was, as if it had appeared out of nowhere." He chuckled softly, shaking his head. "I stepped inside, and the shop's owner, Nefertiti, recommended this bracelet to me." He gently touched the lion's head. She explained that the black tourmaline is for protection, tiger's eye for courage, and hematite for grounding, each stone chosen for its protective properties. She said it was perfect for my energy and that it would reveal its magic over time. His fingers brushed over the crown. "This crown symbolizes success and wisdom in leadership, and the lion, well, it reminds me of strength, courage, and the importance of leading with integrity." Nia felt the depth of his words, sensing that the bracelet wasn't just a piece of jewelry, but a reflection of Kwame's essence, as if it had chosen him as much as he had chosen it. "It suits you," she said, her gaze meeting his. Their eyes locked for a moment, and in that exchange, Nia felt something stir within her, a recognition of something deeper than she had anticipated. The connection between them was subtle but undeniable, like a soft whisper of destiny that neither could ignore. A gentle smile passed between them, an unspoken acknowledgement of the energy they both felt swirling in the space between them. Nia's heart beat a little faster, not in anxiety, but in anticipation of what this moment might mean. The garden seemed to pulse with life, reflecting their shared connection in the soft rustle of leaves and the fragrant air. As Kwame turned to leave, he paused and glanced back. "Perhaps," he said, his voice as calm as the breeze, "we'll cross paths again soon. This garden, it has a way of bringing people together, doesn't it?" Nia nodded, a knowing glimmer in her eyes. "Yes," she agreed softly, "it truly does." She watched him walk away, his figure fading into the golden light of the setting sun. The flyer in her hand felt weightier than mere paper. It held possibility, a future still unknown. And yet, standing there in the quiet of the garden, she felt an undeniable certainty that something had shifted. Kwame had brought with him more than just a flyer. He had stirred something within her, something long dormant, waiting to be awakened. As Nia returned to her journal beneath the oak tree, she felt the garden's quiet energy wrap around her once more. She had no idea what the next steps on her journey would bring, but she knew deep in her heart that this was only the beginning of something far greater than she could yet imagine. The garden whispered its blessings, and in the soft hum of nature's symphony, Nia found peace in the unknown, ready to embrace whatever the universe had in store for her next. Episode 4, The Energy of Connection. In the Garden of Healing, soft whispers flow, a tranquil retreat where old wounds grow slow. Lavender and sage scent the evening air as nature's lullaby eases every care. Through the rustling leaves, a melody sings, with birds and waters flow, a peaceful ring. Green aventurine gleams in silver's light, a place where Nia finds her inner sight. Each step on the path, each breath she takes, the garden's embrace is where her soul awakes. In this sacred space, old scars begin to mend, a quiet strength blooms, a journey without end. And as the sun sets slow, casting golden hue, a figure stands tall as if born anew. Kwame, with his lion's head and crown, enters inside her garden without making a sound. In the golden hue of late afternoon, the garden whispered a sacred tune. Among lavender's breath and sage's sigh, Nia felt her spirit start to fly. A gentle rustle stirred the trees, carried by the softest breeze, and there he stood in light aglow, a presence her soul seeks to know. His voice, deep like water's flow, a quiet strength, steady and slow, reached her ears a calming wave, an echo of the peace she silently craved. His scent, a secret wild and sweet, an aroma of sandalwood and spice complete. A primal pull she could not place, but felt deep within a warm embrace. His essence, calm yet fierce with grace, like ancient roots that ground a place. In his eyes a story told of courage, heart, and wisdom's fold. She caught the gleam of silver light, his bracelet worn with quiet might, a lion's head, a crown of stone, a protective energy that felt like home. As his scent wrapped around her still, and his voice the space did fill, she felt the shift, a quiet start of something new within her heart. The garden breathed alive with sound, and Nia stood on sacred ground. What had passed was more than fate. It was a door, a love innate. The energy hummed, the future unfolds, with every moment a new story told. Nia, awakened, feels destiny's call. In the garden's embrace, she'll rise, stand tall. His voice, his scent, his essence clear, awoke a path she could not fear. For in the garden's tender glow, she found the strength to let it grow. And though his steps would take him far, his presence lingered like a star, bright and distant, yet so near, a guide towards something she held dear. So in this sacred space beneath the sky, two souls connected, no need to try. The garden of healing held them close as they danced on a path towards healing, love, and growth.